Hey everyone, Theo here. Today I'm going to review the Matebook X Pro, the 2021 model. This is not a sponsored review. I actually saw a good deal on a second-hand unit, so I bought one to try because I've always wanted to see how good Huawei Matebooks are. So my review will be from the perspective of a visual content creator, someone who does graphic design, digital art, edits photos and videos. I will talk about all those workflows in this video, and I will also make a brief comparison to the MacBook Air, which I also have, and I'm also going to show you how you can connect Huawei and Samsung tablet to this laptop so that you can use those tablets as an external display. Now this review may be a bit long, so if you want to save time, you can check out the text review that I have already written. The link is in the video description below. These are the items included in the box. This is a USB-C 65-watt charger. This USB-C cable is 2 meters long. This included adapter will give you extra ports, USB Type-A, full-size HDMI, VGA, and USB-C. There is no SD card slot on this and on the laptop. These are the specifications for this unit that I have here. This is running the 11th Gen Intel Core i7-1165 G7 processor, which is a quad-core 2.8 GHz processor. It has 16 gigs of RAM and 1 TB of storage. The graphics is the Intel Iris Xe. This is a beautiful looking laptop. The design is quite sleek. There is definitely this look and feel of a premium laptop. It's quite thin. The weight is 1.33 kg, which is quite a reasonable weight for a laptop with full metal build quality. On the back, at the sides here and here, they are curved very slightly. We have 4 plastic feet, some screws for you to remove the back. On the front is just this Huawei logo. This texture is quite smooth and unfortunately it's quite susceptible to fingerprint smudges. This is how it sounds when you run your finger across the lid. The finishing, the cutting and the alignment for this laptop, it's really nice. These are the ports on the left, a 3.5mm audio jack, 2 Thunderbolt 4 USB Type-C ports, and that little dot there is the power charging indicator. On the other side is a USB 3 Type-A port, and you can see this beveled edge that goes all around. At the bottom of the lid where the hinge is, this surface looks continuous, so this looks really nice. This laptop can be opened with one hand easily, and the fingerprint sensor unlock is almost instant. I'm very happy they are not using face unlock here. Even if you want face unlock, it's not possible because the camera is hidden beneath this button between the F6 and F7 function buttons. This camera placement means it's going to point up to your nose, so this is something you should know if you're into teleconferencing. This is a beautiful display with 91% screen to body ratio. The resolution is 3000 by 2000 pixels. This resolution on a 13.9-inch display means all the visuals will appear very sharp with no noticeable pixelation. This is a bright and vibrant display. The colors look great out of the box. I measured color support for 100% sRGB, 77% Adobe RGB, and 77% P3, and the viewing angles are terrific with minimal color shift when viewed from extreme angles, and the brightness also don't drop significantly when you view the display from extreme angles. The maximum brightness is rated at 450 nits. I measured 326 nits, which is more than sufficient for indoors as well as outdoor use. This is how reflective the display is. This is also a touch screen. This is a chiclet style keyboard with backlight. The fingerprint and power button is separate. There is a good amount of palm rest, and the overall typing experience is very satisfactory. This is a big trackpad. It's sensitive, it's accurate, and it has good clicking mechanism. You can also click right at the top here. This laptop is said to have 4 speakers. It may seem like there are speaker grills on the sides here, but I don't hear any audio from the grills here. The speakers are downward facing speakers. The audio quality is good. The audio is loud and clear. The speakers are actually located somewhere here near the feet. It's not this whole section here, it's just at the bottom here near the corner. Right, let's talk about the performance and workflow. The internal SSD has read and write speeds up to 3.5 to 3.1 gigabytes per second, which is to say that when it comes to booting Windows, restarting, opening apps, loading or opening huge files and saving those huge files, it's very snappy. And this laptop comes with 16 gigs of RAM, so when it comes to multitasking, it's very smooth. This laptop can handle graphic design work without any issues. It's smooth sailing. This 3:2 aspect ratio is fantastic for productivity compared to laptops with 16:9 or 16:10 aspect ratio. So this aspect ratio allows you to see more vertical resolution, and as a result allows you to see more of the page, more content, and when you're working you don't have to scroll as often. For example, let's say you're working on this spreadsheet on scheduling. You can see the start of the day at 8 AM and the end of the day at 6:30 PM. On a laptop with 16:9 resolution, the last few lines will be cropped off, so if you want to see those lines, you would have to scroll up and down. Scrolling itself is not an issue, everyone can scroll, but the thing is to be able to see your whole page, all the lines while you're working. You don't have to scroll up and down. It's very convenient. This aspect ratio is great for writing, for blogging, for programming, especially for programming because you get to see more lines. Sometimes you want to reference something that you have written above the page. With this aspect ratio, you don't have to scroll as much because you can see all your lines on the page. And when it comes to doing other types of work, for example, when it comes to editing photos, you can see more thumbnails because there is more vertical resolution to let you see that extra row of thumbnails. When it comes to editing videos, you can choose to have a larger viewer, or you can choose to scale up your timeline to see more of your timeline. This aspect ratio is very useful and very convenient. I do not buy laptops with 16:9 aspect ratio. The minimal I would go is with 16:10 aspect ratio. So to have 3:2, it's fantastic. This gives you 20% more vertical resolution compared to 16:9 and 10% more vertical resolution compared to 16:10. If you're going to be doing mostly office type work, the specifications in this laptop is more than sufficient for those type of work. So let's take a look at photo editing. Now the display has good color accuracy, so this is a display that is suitable for editing photos. The user interface, such as the navigation, zooming in and out, all the navigation, the animation is very smooth. When it comes to editing itself, the visual updates happen instantly. And because the resolution of this display is quite high, the pixel density is quite high, you can see a lot of details. There is no pixelation, so it's really a positive experience editing photos on this laptop. When it comes to video editing, the laptop heats up quite quickly, especially when it comes to exporting videos. The video exporting time is actually quite good. Let's see how much time it takes to export a 10-minute 4K video using H.265 with Adobe Premiere Pro. So with the Huawei Matebook X Pro, it took 5 minutes and 10 seconds. With the LG Gram 16, which is another laptop that I have, which has the same processor, it took 6 minutes and 11 seconds. With the Apple M1 MacBook Air, it took 4 minutes and 54 seconds. So the export time is very comparable to the Huawei laptop. And there is this Asus ZenBook, which is really powerful. It took just 1 minute and 40 seconds. Let me show you the photo export time as well. For 116 megapixel RAW files with Adobe Lightroom Classic, So for the Huawei laptop, it took 3 minutes and 28 seconds. For the Apple M1 MacBook Air, it took just 1 minute and 20 seconds. So that is quite incredible. With the LG Gram 16, it took around the same time as the Huawei laptop. So as you can see, when it comes to exporting photos, the Apple M1 MacBook Air crushes the Huawei laptop. The MacBook Air is almost 2 times faster than this. But whether that time savings is important really depends on the type of work that you do, the amount of work that you do. So if you are working with thousands of photos each day, then obviously you will be able to save more time with the MacBook Air. But if you are just working with a few hundreds of photos, you're going to save maybe 2, 3, 4 minutes. Personally, for me, I can wait that extra 2, 3, 4 minutes. If the pricing for the MacBook Air and this Huawei laptop is not significantly different, then obviously the wiser choice is to go with the MacBook Air because it's faster. The main reason why anyone would go with the Huawei is probably because it's running Windows and you need to use Windows specific software. But if you don't need to use Windows specific software, actually you can choose either the MacBook Air or the Huawei laptop. Anyway, when it comes to editing photos and exporting them, it's not going to push the laptop. It's barely even going to get warm. What will push this laptop is when it comes to exporting 4K videos. And when it heats up, due to the full metal body, even the palm rest will be quite warm because metal conducts heat, and depending on what else you are doing, this laptop can be even hotter to the extent that working on this is going to feel uncomfortable. Also, while you are exporting the video, when it comes to doing other work, you will see more jitter. So for example, when you are browsing web pages and you are scrolling down, you will see the web page jitter more. It's as if the frame rate is not able to catch up. And when you are doing other work while you're exporting a video in the background, it's going to make the laptop stay warm for a much longer time. And when you are working with videos, sometimes you may want to connect the power to the laptop just so that it doesn't drain the battery life that fast. And while you're charging the laptop and editing your videos at the same time, it gets really warm. So I don't recommend having your charger connected while you are working on video. It just gets too warm to the extent that I would have to type like this. I cannot even touch the palm rest. So this is not a laptop I would recommend for working with video. This LG Gram 16 takes 20% more time when it comes to exporting the video, which means for a 10-minute video project, I can save that extra 1 minute on this laptop. But on the LG Gram, it barely heats up, so I can work on other work without the system slowing down or having any lag. Another thing you need to know about the thermal situation with this laptop is, for some reason, when the laptop becomes warm, it would stay warm longer compared to other laptops I have tested. And because this laptop stays warm longer, the fans would have to spin longer, and that would affect battery life quite significantly. So if you don't want the battery life to drain, you would connect a charger to charge the laptop, but that's going to make the laptop even hotter to the extent that you can no longer use the keyboard or rest your hand on the palm rest. So when it comes to gaming, this is going to be warm as well. And for gaming, you can only play very simple games like this. You cannot play those action games like Red Dead Redemption 2. It's going to get you only 15 to 20 frames per second. It's not playable. But for simple games like this, it's alright. But when it comes to playing games, again, there is going to be some heat issue, unless you don't mind playing on a really warm keyboard. Anyway, this is not a gaming laptop. If you want to play games, get a gaming laptop instead. You can probably find a good gaming laptop with a dedicated graphics card for the same price as this Huawei laptop. As long as you don't play games or edit videos on this laptop, you won't have any heat issues, and you will also get very good battery life. I can get around 10 hours of battery life with mid to high brightness settings. When charging the battery, the laptop will get warm, which is not unexpected of course, but it's warmer compared to other laptops I have tested. And when it gets warm, the heat will be conducted everywhere because of the metal body. The last thing I want to show you is how you can use a compatible Huawei tablet or selected Samsung tablets as an external display for this laptop. So all you have to do is to go into the settings here, the Huawei PC Manager, and select to connect to the tablet. In this case, this is a Huawei Matebook X Pro from 2021. This is a 10.8-inch tablet. They also have a larger version, the 12.6-inch Matebook X Pro, which is more expensive. So let's connect. So now you can get an external display. So this can also help with productivity. As long as you have an external display, it's going to help with productivity. And the latency or the lag situation is actually quite good. Good in the sense that it's quite responsive. So I can drag the window from one side to the other side, and the animation is quite responsive. So this is pretty good. You can draw on the Huawei tablet because it has pen support, but the latency issues is very bad. There is significant lag. Pay attention to how much time it takes the cursor to catch up with the pen tip. It's about a 1 second lag. So this is not great for drawing. However, if I switch to using the touchpad from the laptop, you can see it's very responsive. This is MediaBank Paint Pro, the desktop app. Notice how bad the latency is. It supports finger gestures, and finger gestures actually work quite well, but the pen latency is just quite bad. Pressure is also supported, but not all finger gesture shortcuts are supported. If you have a Samsung tablet with the second screen feature, you can also turn this tablet into an external display. Just use the shortcuts Windows plus K to connect to this tablet. The performance is going to be exactly the same as the Huawei tablet, which is to say it's good for use as an external display for reference or for web browsing, but not good for drawing. The only glitch I discovered was with the auto brightness. It's not the Windows auto brightness, it's this auto brightness from the Intel Graphics Command Center. Under System, Power, Display Power Savings and Enhanced Power Savings, these two are turned on by default. This will adjust the brightness automatically for unknown reasons. It doesn't work well and it's incredibly distracting, so I have them turned off here. Alright, to conclude, this is a good looking laptop with solid build quality. It looks and feels premium. It's compact, easy to bring around. It's 1.33 kg, which is a good weight for a laptop this size. The keyboard and the touchpad are fantastic. The fingerprint sensor works really well. The ports are limited, but Huawei did provide you with an adapter, so that's nice. This display, I think, is the main selling point here. It's beautiful, vibrant and bright. It has high resolution and the 3:2 aspect ratio is really nice for productivity. And the overall performance is quite good as long as you don't push the processor. So this is not a laptop for gaming. This is not a laptop I would recommend for editing videos, but other than that, you can probably throw all other sorts of work at this and it's going to be pretty smooth. So it's a good laptop, but there are some limitations, mostly with the thermal issues. Yeah, so that's my review. I hope this is helpful. Thanks for watching. See you again. Bye.